And welcome everyone to a Missouri Valley Conference chat. I'm Andy Katz, pleased to be joined by Indiana State head coach Josh Schertz. Josh, you guys are 8-6, 1-1 in the Valley, coming off that win over Bradley. So 4 in a row after a little bit of a skid. What has turned the season around to this point?
I think just growth within our team. We got obviously a lot of new pieces, a lot of moving parts. When we kind of overhauled the roster. We came in April and there was one guy on it. So, we've dealt with a lot of adversity. I think, we lost Tyreek couple of days before the season. And so trying to kind of figure out, we had obviously, planned on playing one way. We were not the smartest guy, but we were probably going to feature him some since he's about one of the all-time, scorers here and one of the, great players in Missouri Valley. And had to change that. And I think just the general growth, we got a young team. We're starting 3 freshmen a lot of times and have 4 freshmen, our top 7. So guys kind of learning on the fly as well. So not like we've got it completely figured out, but have played better at home and had these 4 games at home and but some quality wins and certainly a big one over Bradley there on Sunday. And we've been, certainly trying to play uphill with shorthanded. So with COVID, et cetera. But I think that's been the biggest difference is just guys getting more comfortable in what we want to do on both ends of the floor.
So for those that didn't follow your career before you got to Indiana State, you say you want to play one way versus how you're playing now. What does that look like, or how would you like to play versus how are you playing now?
No, I think we're doing a lot of the same stuff. I mean, we want to play fast and we certainly want to play a free flowing offensively. We always say, obviously, it's a contrast, fast, loose, and disciplined on the offensive end, and try to find that balance. And you can see growth in terms of what we want to do. I think it's harder counterintuitively. You think it'd be easier to play free flowing, but it's actually harder because you're time and teach guys instead of plays how to play and how to read, and not only they got to read what they're doing, but how their teammates are being played, and it can be more complicated. But I think you've seen, the last 2 games, we've made 31 threes and ball's starting to move a little better, and assist numbers are going up, and guys are understanding, the kind of how we want to play and the importance of breaking pain and playing behind that, and again, just kind of reading the game as opposed to being as scripted, and that does take a while. And when you have a lot of freshmen, it takes even longer. And so where I came from, we had a lot of, we called corporate knowledge, a lot of 5th-year seniors, guys who redshirted and stayed. Here, you're getting a lot of 18, 19-year-olds this is their first time, and going through the Missouri Valley is challenging enough. And we're putting a lot of cognitive load on them as well in terms of what we're trying to do on both ends of the floor. So proud of the growth, and certainly we can get a lot better from here.
How about Cooper Dees?
He's been great. I mean, talking about a guy that is his first couple of years here, he's been kind of a secondary piece, and was kind of the 4th wheel, a good 4th wheel for them last year with Tyreek and with Jake and Trey, and those guys kind of leading the charge. And he's been thrust into a leading role, and that's really hard to go from a guy that's from a complimentary piece to kind of having to carry the water, kind of having to be the guy that we kind of ride and a go-to player. And he's finding a balance. I think the biggest thing for him has been trying to find that niche between being really aggressive and forcing it. And when you're the best player, when you're the guy that's the go-to guy, we need you to be uber aggressive. We need you to be in attack mode, but you don't need to force it. And I think he's gotten better in that. You look at his efficiency numbers; they're trending up in a big way. And I don't think he's gotten better. I think he's gotten better in terms of what shots to take, when to move it, what are the right decisions to make. And we're putting a lot on his plate, and I think he's on both ends. He's done well defensively, and obviously offensively, he's been a huge key for us.
You've won wherever you've been. So that's sort of the bar that you've got. What are the pieces for you that have made you so successful when you look at rebuilding a program and, keeping it into that top tier in the Valley?
Well, I think, anytime, the key always, is the people you surround yourself with, right? I mean, I think as a leader, and certainly as a as a head coach, you're completely dependent upon the talent, the character, the people you surround yourself with. We're completely dependent on that. You can't outcoach your talent. You can't outcoach your character. And so the key is always getting the right people. And that's the base. And then everything else matters from there. Then it matters, player development matters. And then your ability to build a culture matters. Then your relationships with your players matter. Then your schemes matter. But none of that stuff is relevant if you don't have the right people in place. And from the staff to the players to everybody we surround ourselves with, support staff wise, that's going to be, if we get this right, that's how we're going to get it right. We're going to get it right with people that care. We're going to get really talented people that are high character people in here. I think it takes both. I think you can have success in pockets, but to have sustained success, got to have elite talent. But man, you got to have the highest levels of character. And then the way we play, the way we play is a little bit unique. Like I said, give our guys a lot of freedom. So you got to get guys, we've always said, tough, smart, skilled. And you want to build a team that's tough, smart, and skilled, you got to recruit that. And so we're going to have to be really diligent in our work, and we're at the ground floor. We added some good pieces. We've got, like I said, 3 freshmen starting and another 4th one in the rotation. We got some good building blocks to move forward with, but we got to continue to get those guys experience. Unfortunately, they're getting it in real time on the court as opposed to maybe in practice, redshirting or playing spot minutes. But man, does that bode well for them in the future, because there's no better player development than playing, right? I mean, that's the best player development there is for guys, is to get on the court and play games with context and with meaning, and they're getting a chance to do that.
So you've only had just a tiny bit of taste in a couple of games in the Valley. Clearly Loyola is the favorite. After Loyola, though, how much are you looking at the landscape here and saying, you know what, it's pretty wide open, 2 on down?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I haven't seen everybody yet. We opened up at Loyola, and we played. Obviously they're terrific. We were in a 1-possession game in the final 3 minutes there, and had our chances, and couldn't quite get over the hump. But they're terrific, experienced, extremely well coached, and then I think you look at just the league games, and every game it feels like is a 5-point game or less. I know it's not 100% accurate, but the vast majority of games are coming down to 1 possession, 2 possession max, and there's tremendous parity. I think Drake now with Roman Penn back, I think they're outside of 1 weekend, they've been terrific, and with him healthy, they'll be right there. Bradley, I thought was terrific. They're exceptionally well coached, got great size and depth, and they're sound, and so watch Northern Iowa, and so you get a chance to see these teams, and we do think you're going to have chances, but the margins are small, and you better be on, and you got to be dialed in, you got to be detailed, you got to be intentional, and we've told our guys, look, you got to play great in this league to have a chance to win. Doesn't guarantee you're going to get it done, but you got to play great in the Missouri Valley just to have a chance to win games, and then you got to find a way at the end, and like we did against Bradley, Cooper made 2 huge threes there down the stretch, and really just a tough one to kind of get us over the hump. But that's a part of it, and that's going to be the case in most of the Valley games this year.
Well, Josh, you're off to a great start. I appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much, Andy. Appreciate having me on.